Good day, viewers at home. God bless you and hope you enjoy your stay at home. All right. This is online learning platform reaching you from Livingsprings Kiddies School, and I am your teacher for today, Adedayo Yekomi. I will be taking you characteristic of living things in basic science, year 6. I'll be taking you characteristic of living things in basic science for year 6. That is our topic for today. And as you listen, may God bless you. All right, let's start with what is a living thing, or what are living things? Okay, from the topic on the board, we can't just go to the characteristic of living things because we need to know what living things are. Now, to start with, living things are things that have life, simple as ABC. You can say that at home again. Living things are things that have life. In a singular form, you can say a living thing is a thing that has life. All right. And aside from living things, we also have non-living things. But that will be a topic for another day. Now, let's go to the main thing. I will start with the definition of living things. Let's start with the definition of living things. All right. Now, definition. Living things are things that are life in them. Living things are things that have life in them. In other words, they are things that possess some biotic characteristic. All right, that's the definition of living things. Can we take it over again? Living things are things that have life in them. In other words, they are things that possess some biotic characteristic. All right. Now let's go to characteristic of living things, which is the main topic for today. All right. So under our subtopic, we are going to be looking at Mr. 9D. I didn't want to put that before. I just want to put it now so you know the meaning of characteristic of living things. Mr. 9D. All right. Now, characteristic of living things. Characteristics of features. The same thing. Feature is also correct. Characteristic of features of living things. All right. Now, when you're talking about the characteristic of living things, you are actually talking about the way living things act to their immediate environment or where they find themselves. For instance, I'm a living thing, I'm a human being. There's a way I behave to some things, and there's a way I behave to some things that come my way as a living thing. So sometimes when I behave, the way I behave, non-living thing cannot behave like that. For instance now, if I see any insect perch on my hand, I can kill it with my other hand. But if same insect perch on the wood does not have life, so it may not know that anything is standing or staying on it. That is why I said, as living things, we have this different way we relate to our immediate environment. All right. The characteristic of living things is grouped as Mr. 9D. Now, when you look at this, it looks like an abbreviation, but it has what they call full meaning. Now, the first one is, I will start with this, which is what we have in our characteristic for today's learning. All right, Mr. 9D. Now look at this D. I'm going to asterisk this D. And I'll tell you later why I'm asterixing it, why I'm putting this kind of pause on it. There's a meaning to that pause. I'll explain later. Alright, let's quickly run through the class. We have the first one, which is M. M stands for movement. M stands for movement. Now, M stands for movement. That's the meaning of M. Under this, this means all living things should be able to move from one place to the other. Now you may be wondering, can plants move? And you have often heard that plants can act, or they are referred to as living things. You'll be wondering how the plants move. For instance, plants do move by their branches or stem. Let me give an example of a plant that moves sterically. Sweet potato. If you plant sweet potato or yam, when you plant yam, you'll see that from where you plant it, the leaf will start growing to some extent. That shows movement of the leaf. So plants move in a way they call asterical way, in a way that is not definite. That's what I meant. Alright, so movement is the first characteristic of living things. So all living things should be able to move. All living things should be able to move from one place to the other. Right. The second on the list means to name the D. This one stands for respiration. Anything respiration is talking about breathing. Yes, it's talking about breathing. So all living things breathe in and breathe out. All living things breathe in and breathe out. Even plants breathe through their stomata. Yes, plants breathe. So human too breathe. We breathe in oxygen and we breathe out what? Carbon dioxide. In other words, carbon dioxide. So we breathe in oxygen, we breathe out carbon dioxide. Alright, so respiration is talking about breathing. All living things should be able to breathe in and breathe out. All things that possess life in them should be able to breathe in and breathe out. Should be able to breathe in and breathe out. Alright, the next one, so we can go fast, is we have N. If you've learned it before, you know that N stands for what? It stands for what? Nutrition. Alright. N is for nutrition. That is, anything referred to as living thing feed. They feed. If they do not feed, they will die. As I am now, if I have not taken anything, I won't be able to stand and talk to you. So it's because I've taken something, so the food has given me energy to teach this lesson. So all living things consume one thing or the other. Even plants eat. They eat by taking in water and consuming some things from the soil, and that's what makes them grow. So they also eat. So nutrition is talking about the feeding of living things. The feeding aspect. The feeding aspect of living things. That's nutrition. The feeding aspect of living things. Now we go to the next one, which is irritability. You can say that again, irritability. Alright. Irritability is the next arm of the characteristic of human being. This is talking about response to stimulus. In plural form, response to stimuli. So when we talk about irritability, living things are able to feel things that come into their body or is done to their body because of the internal organs and veins that run through the body system. For instance, I'm a living thing now. If you as a learner come to me and you pinch me, I will know that you have pinched me because I'm going to respond to the stimuli. That is, the veins in my body will interact with other organs, and that will make me understand that something is happening to my body system. That is why anytime we want to poop, we know, because the signal of irritability will tell us. It will quicken the bowels. So irritability is talking about how human beings, animals and plants are able to feel something on their body because of the internal organ that relates to that system. All right. So irritability is talking about feelings gotten or observed on the body due to stimuli or stimulus in plural form. All right. Feelings gotten or observed on the body due to stimuli or stimulus in plural form. All right, that is talking about. You can do the practical at home as I'm talking to you. You can just try and pinch someone and see if the person will not feel it. That's meaning of irritability. The stimuli will make the person feel that something is happening to the body. It's because of the stimuli. So if you want to be sure, try to pinch or try to beat someone. The person will get the response because of the skin. All right. At the same time, try to pinch your table or your chair, or try to pinch your television. You will see they will not talk because there is no stimuli running in their vein. They have no vein, they have no blood, nothing is running in their vein. All right, let's quickly run through the remaining class. For today, growth. All living things grow in form or size. All living things grow in form or size. Now, this was not the way I was when I was giving birth to. Definitely, I'm a living thing, so I'm growing every day. So that's the meaning of growth. You're going to grow, and that is one of the characteristics of living things. The next one is excretion. All living things excrete. All living things excrete. That is, they bring out their waste metabolism. They bring out their waste metabolism. Metabolism, in other words, waste product. So as a living thing, after eating, at the point I will go and do poo. I will go and shit, or I will go and use the toilet. So when I use the toilet, that is meaning of excretion. When I do it, that's excretion. When I even bring out sweat from my pores, when sweat comes from my hand, that is also what they call excretion. That is waste product. That's meaning of excretion in the characteristic of living thing. So for today, I will just round it up fast by going to the next one, which is reproduction. All living things should be able to reproduce. That is, give birth to young ones. They should be able to reproduce. It is reproduction that brought me to life because my parents were able to reproduce their offspring. That's an example of reproduction. Animal can give birth to another one, and what they call reproduction continues in that form. All right. So the last one is death. Death is constant, and at a point, everything will come to end. So death, all living things at a point must die. At a point, they must die. That is what I'm trying to say, that when you talk about death, all living things at the point should come, or their life should come to an end. So when you talk about death, all living things will die. And that is the last characteristic of living things. All right. At this point in junction, I will call it a day for this class, and I hope you understand everything taught. If there is anything you want us to explain that is not clear to you, you can reach us through the school WhatsApp platform. Okay, thank you for listening to me. I am your teacher for today, Adedayo Oyekombi. And don't forget to stay at home, wash your hands regularly, maintain social distancing. And this is the only way we can curb COVID-19 in time. Thank you, and God bless you.